Am I the asshole for telling my dad he can't invite his girlfriend to my graduation because my mom paid for the trip? I'm graduating college in 2 weeks, and somehow what should have been one of the happiest moments of my life has turned into another argument about my dad's feelings. For context, my parents divorced when I was 11. They're civil now, but definitely not friends. Growing up, my mom was the reliable parent. She was the one working extra shifts, driving me to school activities, helping me fill out financial aid forms, sitting with me during panic attacks, and holding me together when I almost dropped out of college entirely. My dad loves me, I know he does, but he's always been the type of parent who shows up when things are convenient. If it required emotional labor, sacrifice, or discomfort, it usually fell on my mom instead. My graduation is 7 hours away from home, and I only got 4 guest tickets. I immediately invited my mom, my dad, my younger brother, and my grandma. My grandma practically helped raise me while my mom was struggling after the divorce, so there was never a question in my mind that she deserved to be there. My mom booked an Airbnb months ago for herself, my brother, my grandma, and me. She also paid for the rental car, gas, and a bunch of other expenses because my grandma and brother couldn't afford the trip on their own. My dad originally said he'd drive separately and stay at a cheap motel nearby. Then about a month ago, he called saying money was tight and he might not be able to make it after all. I tried to act understanding, but honestly, it crushed me a little. And then my mom, and despite everything between them, quietly offered to pay for one of his hotel nights so he could still come see me graduate. She literally said, "You deserve both parents there." And I knew that cost her more emotionally than financially. So for a little while, I thought everything was finally settled. Then last week, my dad called, sounding excited, and told me his girlfriend Kara got the weekend off and was coming too. Now, they've only been dating about 8 months. I've met her twice. She's not awful or anything, but we are not close. And honestly, she already makes me a little uncomfortable. At my younger brother's birthday dinner, she jokingly called herself our bonus mom, and my brother looked like he wanted the earth to swallow him whole. So when my dad casually announced she was coming to graduation weekend, I was confused. I asked him what exactly he meant. That's when he explained Kara would come to dinner, take pictures with everyone, and stay at the Airbnb with us. I immediately told him no. Not because I hate Kara, but because the Airbnb was paid for by my mom specifically for the people I invited. My dad then said Kara wouldn't mind sleeping on the couch, and honestly, that's when something in me snapped, because it suddenly felt like my mom's kindness was once again being stretched into emotional labor for everybody else. So I told him, the couch isn't the point. Mom paid so you could come support your daughter, not so you could turn this into a couple's trip. He got upset immediately and said, my mom always gets to be seen as the main parent and that he just didn't want to feel awkward being alone all weekend. And I finally said something I think I've been holding in for years. I told him, this weekend is not about making you comfortable. It's about me graduating. And I want one weekend where mom isn't expected to swallow her feelings and fix things for everyone else. After that, he got quiet and said maybe he just shouldn't come at all if Kara wasn't welcome. And honestly, I told him that was his choice. But I was not kicking my brother or grandma out. And I was not asking my mom to host his girlfriend after she already went out of her way to help him attend. Now my aunt is calling me cruel and saying I humiliated my father and made Kara feel unwanted. My dad texted me, I hope making your point was worth it. And now my mom feels guilty even though she's done absolutely nothing wrong. The worst part is, I do want my dad there. I just hate that somehow, even at my graduation, everyone's still expected to manage his emotions first. Am I the asshole here? Okay. This story hurt a little because underneath the graduation drama, this is really about a daughter finally realizing how uneven her parents' emotional contributions have been her entire life. And honestly, the graduation itself almost feels symbolic. Because look at the pattern here. The mom carries the weight. The dad arrives if circumstances are easy, and somehow everyone still ends up protecting the dad's feelings. That dynamic is all over this story. First of all, let's talk about the mom, because wow, this woman worked extra shifts, held the family together after divorce, supported her daughter through near dropping out of college, and then, after all that, she still quietly offered to help pay for her ex-husband's hotel so her daughter could have both parents at graduation. That is an insane level of emotional maturity. And honestly, the saddest part, it sounds like everyone is so used to her absorbing emotional discomfort that they don't even notice it anymore. Now, let's talk about the dad. I actually don't think he's a monster. I think he's emotionally avoidant. There's a difference. Because he clearly loves his daughter, but he also seems deeply uncomfortable being emotionally inconvenienced. Notice what he said. He just wanted someone there so he wouldn't feel awkward. That line explains everything. This man was willing to turn his daughter's graduation into emotional negotiations because he didn't want to feel uncomfortable attending alone. And honestly, bringing a relatively new girlfriend into an already delicate family trip without even asking first was incredibly tone deaf, especially because the Airbnb wasn't his. That's the key thing people are ignoring. The daughter didn't ban Kara from existing. She didn't say Kara couldn't attend graduation. She didn't scream at anyone. She simply said, "My mom is not hosting Dad's girlfriend during my graduation weekend," which is honestly a completely reasonable boundary. Now, Kara herself? I actually think Kara may have walked into this situation without fully understanding the family dynamics. But calling yourself bonus mom after 8 months of dating a man with adult children is bold. Very bold. And honestly, if the younger brother visibly looked uncomfortable, that should have been her first clue to slow down. But the real problem here is the aunt and the guilt tripping afterward. Because once again, instead of asking the dad to manage his own emotions like an adult, everybody immediately pressures the daughter to smooth things over. Classic family dynamic. Just apologize, just make peace, just let him have what he wants. Meanwhile, nobody asks, why is the daughter always the one expected to bend? And honestly, the dad's text, I hope making your point was worth it. That text is dripping with emotional manipulation. Because now, instead of discussing the actual issue, the focus becomes, you hurt Dad's feelings, not, maybe Dad made graduation stressful by centering himself. And I think that's why this story resonates so hard. It's not really about one Airbnb. It's about a child finally becoming old enough to recognize emotional imbalance in their family and deciding, maybe for the first time, not to accommodate it. And that realization is painful for everyone involved. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Oh the Tea with your girl Tia. New tea drops every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so don't miss out. And listen, I need your opinions, so go comment below because I need to hear your thoughts. See you next time with more hot tea.